And it's like, damn it, that Leona ban again. But at the end of the day, it's a support ban, which I'm sure that they can be happy with anyway. Luck's been banned out here with Shen by Fnatic. Diana taken out for Against All Authority. Of course, we have been seeing how strong that Diana is.
Yes, it's actually she's shown a couple of times, especially this past weekend, both in North America and here in EU. It's just such a powerful champion. It's one of those that once they get a little bit ahead, it's so difficult to catch back up because she's mobile, versatile, has got a built-in shield, etc. Vi and Zinzao, the final two bans, and that's two champions we've seen. But Kayle insta-locked for Against All Authority. They didn't even hesitate on that pick. Yeah,
it's like if Shen's not in there, he's probably going to be that first pickup. If Zinzao is there, then he's going to be that guy. Vi as well at the minute. So, this time it was Kayle that was left open, and Against All Authority go straight in for it. No hesitation.
Now, Renekton is still available as well. It's another highly contested pick that we've seen time and time again. Soaz has been playing a lot of either Malphite or Shen. So Malphite, it might be a bit early to be locking him in right now for Soaz because it is, of course, him first picking the side. But we'll see how the team decides to go that route. N-rated, you mentioned the ban right at the beginning, and he was actually talking about it yesterday, saying how frustrating it is for him when N-rated gets banned out because he loves playing that champion. And then he normally falls back to either Lulu or Sona. So, it's possibilities.
Well, right now, Fnatic are hovering over Jarvan, which we have, of course, seen from Cyanide in the jungle. One of his best Baron stealing champions around. And obviously, we've seen plenty of him. We saw some great Baron steals coming out yesterday as well. And there is the Misfortune as well for Fnatic.
Yeah, Misfortune. So Yellow Star is going to get the AD carry that he's been playing pretty much exclusively for the biggest portion of the matches so far. You've got a good synergy, of course, between Cataclysm and Bullet Time. It allows that entire ultimate to get channeled. If you lock people in, I'm Jarvan, I'm helping effectively.
Possibly.
Possibly. Depends on how it goes. Depends on how it gets played out. Against All Authority have got a very nice ability to put Kayle in either the mid, the top, or the jungle, depending on where they want to throw that champion around. And they've shown that they're not afraid to move players around as well as champions. So it makes Fnatic start second-guessing what they want to do. Sona being locked in for Corrales, I think, is the surprise of the tournament. Nobody would have expected that because that's his 8th time playing it in, I think, as many games.
Well, they've played 9 games, right? I think there was one game where someone took it away from him.
Was banned.
Yeah.
One game it was banned, I think it was. So seven games as Sona, 1 game as Lulu, and now this is, I believe, the 9th matchup. He's getting Sona again. But interestingly, Nasus has been locked in. So Virtual may be thinking to run that jungle Nasus, which we've been seeing out of Diamond Prox over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've also seen it in the top lane over in North America, so I guess it's another one of those picks that will leave them guessing somewhat. Fnatic right now are sat with Lee Sin, but I'm not sure that it will get locked in anyway.
I'm not 100% sure about that either. Lee Sin was actually selected by Diamond Prox in the last game of the day yesterday, and you could see he was sort of thinking, and then Rated brought it up and he was saying, it has been locked in. Okay, so Lee has been locked in. Lee Sin and Jarvan, Bruisers, the question of who's going to go top or middle or jungle is up in the air. And it's something that Fnatic have done previously. I think Pekka has actually run Jarvan in the mid, not in the LCS, but a month or 2 months ago. We know Soaz can play a very good Lee Sin as well. So they've also got that versatility. Nono is sitting on brand right now. I don't expect that to be locked in, but it would be awesome if it did.
I definitely wouldn't mind if that were the case. But Lee Sin in this top lane, which I'm kind of feeling it will be. There's going to be an interesting choice, and obviously Against All Authority, they're switching stuff around this entire time, so we'll have to see how that all goes down. We've got 20 seconds to go. That brand is still there.
Yeah, and Ezreal, the champion for Nono, he has been playing as his AD carry, almost exclusively as well. I just want to pull up the number of games played. 4 games on Ezreal, 1 on Varus, 1 on Misfortune as well. So he's been around a couple of different champs. Malphite has been secured, so that's probably going to be a Malphite top lane, Kayle mid. I would expect Nasus jungle. That's my prediction on this one. But we'll see if Against All Authority decide to throw a bit of a curveball. And Rated, he's looking focused. He's looking focused here.
Well, they actually said to us yesterday, if they ban out my Leona, I'm going to be going with Alistair as much as I can tomorrow, which apparently he wasn't lying. That's when the players say stuff like that, you always like...
Take it with a pinch of salt.
But it doesn't seem that way today. So that Alistair in there for Fnatic. What are they going to finish off this lineup with here, though?
It's a difficult question because Malphite is so good against those, bruiser, attack auto attack type champions like Jarvan, like Lee Sin, who sort of rely on being in your face. They need all of their abilities and to continually be smacking you around to get those kills. And he removes movement speed, he removes attack speed. The Twisted Fate is a very, very good pickup for Fnatic because it allows them to start winning out their lanes once they hit level 6. The kill potential that you have with a Lee Sin, with an Alistar, or with a Jarvan setting up a gank is absolutely huge. But it's one of these, hit and miss. If you don't pull off those ganks on the first or your second ultimate, you start to fall a little bit behind.
Yeah, and it looks like Soaz will be having that Lee Sin in the top lane, and kind of makes sense as well with the slow potential they've got there coming out of the likes of Kayle, out of Nasus as well. Obviously, with a super powerful. He's got that built-in mobility with his W to escape that as well. So, and we know that Soaz is a master of Lee Sin as well in this top lane. So there's something, that whole mobility thing looking for. Actually, it looks like we will be seeing a remake in this one just in the last seconds against Authority. Just having one man drop out there.
Yeah, I think it might have been a champion swap bug that does happen, from time to time. Against Authority players currently had it set up that Slayer was playing Sona and Corellius was playing Malphite. I'm pretty sure they don't want to support Malphite in that bottom lane. So we'll probably get this up and running very, very quickly again. And I still want to know where they're going to move the champions around because they still had Freddy sitting with Kayle. I don't think they're going to put a Kayle top lane against Lee Sin. The Malphite would make a slightly better choice, in my opinion. Maybe put that AP Kayle middle against Twisted Fate. He can counter-push the lane a little bit more effectively with a couple levels in his E, that Righteous Fury, because Twisted Fate is known just shove, shove, shove. Get those cards out, clear the waves, and keep you stuck under your tower.
See them, they're actually spelling out AAA and TSR.
Yeah, so the picks and bans are going through. They are trolling just a tiny bit, and they are locking in their champions. It looks like everybody is picking interesting picks. Nono is middle of the board. I think they haven't rejoined in the correct order. Yeah. So I wonder if we can have a look at that.
Well, if I jump in, I just jump on the
next. We'll see if they end up switching that one around. I guess we'll just move the scoreboard around again rather than delaying any further and getting them to remake it and get in there in that specific order. So, quick shot. We've got the two lineups in here. Who are you fancying for this one?
It's quite a difficult thing to pick because both teams have champions that scale fairly well in some regards, but not in others. Kayle, for example, is going to get more and more powerful the longer the game goes. Twisted Fate, split push potential, you can never forget about. But then you've got champions like Malphite and Lee Sin, who, Lee Sin's going to fall off a little bit, and eventually the damage that Malphite's going to be putting out isn't really going to be enough to burst somebody down instantly. So it's really just going to depend on these engagements, but I like the team fight potential that Fnatic have. They've got such a huge amount of protection. Jarvan, Lee Sin, and Alistar to protect the misfortune of the Twisted Fate. There's so many abilities, knock-ups, knockbacks, that once Malphite jumps in there, as long as you don't die from that unstoppable force, you can just kick him away, lock him in with the Cataclysm.
Yeah, for me, Fnatic's lineup is the most amazing to watch, the whole knock-up kind of thing in middle of fights is always a fun one to see. And I think that, if they really manage to get things down how they're wanting it with this lineup, then against Authority, you're going to have a really tough time of things. Obviously, Fnatic yesterday, after their 2 losses, were not happy, naturally. No one is happy after losing 2 games on the bounce, but you can bet one thing, and that's Fnatic have talked about this overnight, and they'll be ready and looking to bounce straight back in today's games.
Yeah, and they're one of the teams that can do that. They have the ability to step back and say, look, it was a loss. We learn from it, we adjust, and we come back tomorrow with a fresh mindset. And you even heard in Rated on the analyst desk, he was mortified. Look, we weren't happy. We were disappointed with ourselves. We're sorry to our fans. But now they've got a chance to redeem themselves, and they're going to have to come out guns blazing because it is a fairly scary composition from against All Authority.
Yep, totally agree with you on that one. We will get the scoreboard rearranged here in just a couple of moments as well, so that everyone is in their right position. So, level 1. Are we going to see anything? Against
an Alistar, you almost never want to invade against an Alistar. The possibility of walking into that pulverize is literally game-endingly scary. It's just you don't want to do it. So I don't think we're going to see anything from AAA in terms of that aggressive play. In addition, if Fnatic gets a good early position, maybe they might camp out some bushes. We do have just a very, very quick pause if we find out exactly why. Nona's keyboard is not working, so I'll have a quick look at that right now. You can see N-Rated there dishing out some commands and some thoughts. He's the primary shot caller for Fnatic, so he's the one saying, look, it's level 1. This is what we want to do. This is the plan, and just making sure guys are on the same page.
And Corelli is saying in chat there, Nono's keys are not working, and Soaz's reply was, what about his brain? Hopefully that's working better than his keyboard here at the start of this one. And actually, Freddie's saying his brain is always missing. So
just a little bit of
nice from
banter.
Freddie. But yeah, interested to see what happens here in the start of this one, because we've seen this ward a couple of times, one of which ended in a very early first blood for the red side, and he's certainly got that potential here with this lineup.
That's for sure. You know, the execution potential, the fact that you've got, you know, a knock-up, maybe even a gold card, you've got the Sonic Wave from Solways that can kill anybody, that flashes to safety, etc. They have the potential, but it just looks like at the moment they're going to play fairly defensively, although as we jump right back into the action, you can see members of Fnatic potentially coming around the corner to jump on Corellius and Nono. They are hiding in that bottom lane. If Fnatic go further aggressive, they may be able to find out. But interestingly for me right now, Peke is set up in the bottom lane, so they might be trying to do some lane shenanigans right now if Twisted Fate decides to go for that 1v2 combo.
And they know where this ward was put down by Against All Authority. Actually, Peke is going to come around to the rest of his team. Nono and Corellius sticking to their tower at this point. And it doesn't look like Against All Authority really going to try and react to this one from the other side. There's the Mystic shot in the bush. Will reveal Jarvan, and they decide to back off.
Really good defensive play from Nono. You could actually see Soaz was coming down the river in view of the ward. It was done intentionally because the Fnatic knew that Explorer ward was there, and they were trying to bait Nono and Corellius, you know, maybe trying to bait them into a position of, look, let's fight Lee Sin or let's set up for him. But luckily, Nono lands that Mystic shot, gets the cooldown reduction on his Q, and can notice, oh, let's not pick this fight. They are going to be happy with just starting off these double golems, and then Rated and Yellow Star, they want to bully them away. They've at least delayed it. That golem will reset very, very shortly. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick that one up. So just a little bit of annoyance coming out of the Fnatic members.
Yeah, just putting that early pressure in there, which can sometimes open things up for you. Obviously not the case quite here, as we are going to see Cyanide being helped out by Unrated. Pulverized just to knock everything up in the air, and Jarvan will secure that blue buff. So there's actually no ward down for Against All Authority right now. So if Jarvan comes early in, there is the ward actually put down in the bush, but we know how Jarvan is. You know, he could go through the back of that dragon pit, and he's in there without them even knowing. And
it's something that we've seen so many times out of Jarvan's, using that EQ combo just to clear walls, get past wards, etc. While we're looking at the bottom lane, I do want to touch on the runes for both of our AD carries. Nono has opened with 15 armor penetration and then 8% on top of that, whereas Yellow Star is simply 5 and then 8%. So quite a sizable difference between these two champions. And you see Freddy and Soaz going head-to-head in this top lane.
Yeah, so I was just trying to pull him away there. Actually, Nono does have that 1% crit chance as well. So, just adding that extra little bit more of a chance that you can knock that crit off and open some things up for you inside of that lane. So early on, things very, very even, as we said earlier on. So as putting the pressure down, you can see here in middle lane, Peke versus Slayer. Cyanide coming in around the side from this one. This is going to be interesting. There's no vision there for Slayer, but you can see he's actually held quite far back here in the lane on that bottom side of it, as well as we are going to see Peke coming. Gold card going to land to Slayer. There is a knock-up. Nice flash away from Slayer to stay safe.
Yeah, flash is burned though, so successful gank overall. Peke uses the last tick of mana that he has just to pull that gold card. They need to wait for a little bit to regen, get a blue card out and start stacking himself up, but we do need to remember Slayer does have Summoner Teleport, so in terms of dueling, in terms of kill potential, that 1v1 is going to be a little interesting, because if anybody gets a little bit low, Peke is just going to land the gold card and ghost flash to safety. The thing we need to be aware of though, if Schley decides to set up a gank with an unstoppable force or with a crescendo in the top and the bottom lane, it's a very scary kill potential.
We actually have Nasus coming around the backside here. Wither goes down, flash from Xpeke. Will it be enough? He's pulled the gold card there just to force them away. And he was low, but key, he stayed safe. He did use both, actually, Ghost and Flash.
It was interesting to see, because the second he got withered, he hit that Ghost immediately and then flashed. So a little bit of wasted, summoner spell usage in that regard. But he does stay alive. Both of these mid laners no summoner spells. And if Cyanide can get a good knockup here, Slayer may be in trouble.
Yeah, Xpeke is still hanging around, just trying to replenish that mana. Cyanide is still waiting on this bottom side, waiting for that one footstep too far from Slayer. And in the end decides, okay, I'm just going to have to back away from this one. Virtual actually right next to him there anyway, doing his Wraith camp at this point. And as I say, that Cyanide actually did stick around, and they know that Cyanide's there. They've got his position on lockdown as he is going into recall once again, and will slide away as he sees Virtual come around.
Unfortunately, just wastes a lot of time. He was hoping for Schley to step a little bit further into the lane, and it simply didn't happen. So he wasn't able to really, get in a position to set up that gank. Very slow start from both of these teams right now. We've seen a little bit of pressure on that middle lane. No gank being successful, but it's good that they are trying. And of course, whichever team manages to get their mid lane snowballing harder, it's always the better position. A Kayle and a TF can literally carry team fights and the game. And Cyanide wants more.
Yeah, he is. They're very much focused on Schley here in that middle lane. He's going to get stunned up there. Is the knock-up as well. Can this be first blood for Fnatic? Schley super low. And there is the first blood. Cyanide picks it up.
Really well played from both Peke and Cyanide. They had no ignite, but they didn't need it. They comboed the gold card into the knock-up, literally landed every single ability that they needed to. And, just textbook play, really.
Yeah, and that's this whole pressure game that Cyanide's been playing constantly on Schley. They forced that flash away from him earlier on. And this time, not got that to use to escape to safety. So good little start for Fnatic. And actually, we see the Sheen already being finished off there by Xpeke. Madrid Razors coming out for Cyanide after that on also a pink ward. So maybe looking to get involved somewhere else around the map.
And something that I definitely want to touch on, especially with regards to watching AAA, is the fact that they tend to buy boots very, very late into the game. And Nono's Ezreal, it's hyper-aggressive damage in terms of his skill order. He maxes his Q and his E first and then follows it up with the W. But Soaz might be in a little bit of trouble. He's just going to walk away. The wither wasn't even used. Virtual's just like, nope, not going to be able to stop him.
And Cyanide's actually just walking straight into him. They're not worried whatsoever. And you can see that's because Cyanide is actually back in the by the turret there. He was starting to move in, would have been able to get out to safety if needed, or maybe even turn it around and get themselves a kill or two. But I tell you what, Soaz doing such a fantastic job at this point with Lee Sin, 55 to 31 CS.
It's a big difference at 7 minutes in the game. I mean, if you look at the goal difference between them, 2,100 to 1,600. I mean, that's an immense value at this point in the game. He hasn't spent it yet, which is just about to go back and pick up some cash and spend that cash, rather. So it'll be interesting to see what he decides to buy. Corellius just going to take a little headbutt from the bull and just gets an extra shot from Yellow Star. I want to know how Soaz is going to build this Lee Sin, because we have not seen Lee Sin in the jungle at all in Season 3. And Enrated was telling us yesterday, Diamond Proc says he's simply just not viable at the moment. So that's from a jungler's perspective. I wonder if Soaz can make him work from this top lane perspective.
Well, we know Soaz is a very competent Lee Sin player. The blue buff going to be given over here to Schley for that mid lane. Obviously, the only one to die up until now in this game. He's actually coming in there with double daggers and that crystalline flask.
And of course, just being informed that Chauster did play him, but can't recall if he did very well or not. And Peke's in trouble, unstoppable force.
Great stuff there. Peke going super low. He's going to get finished off here. Freddy will be given the kill, and that's a brilliant play. As Karalius down in the bottom lane, falling low and rated, not super healthy himself, but looks like both will be able to stay alive.
Yeah, they do manage to survive the burst from both teams, just going back and forth, chunking their HP down. Sona is going to be able to heal up Nono over time, and of course, in Rated's triumphant roars, his heal will be there, similarly. I mean, look at that entire engagement, every single spell blown back and forth the entire time. But crucially, Exhaust and Barrier still available for Nono and Corellius. If they go aggressive again, they may have enough damage to burn through that barrier.
Not to mention the fact that Sona obviously now has that crescendo available to use. So we'll see how that all works out in the coming moments. We can see that Xpeke is actually headed south here, down through that bottom lane. So it's very possible that if they get that initiation with Enrated, that they will go in for this one. Here we go, Twisted Fate coming in around the back. There is a crescendo coming down to probably stop this one, but the headbutt, pulverized combo. Enrated has to pop his ultimate. Kayle coming down into the bottom. Their focus is a little bit wonky right now, but against Authority are winning the numbers game. Yellow Star going to be finished off by Virtual. Stun card comes in onto Schley. Can they finish off? Here comes Nono. He will pick up the kill on Peke. Soaz is here as well. He's going to kick one back as Cyanide will lock Schley up inside the Cataclysm. Where's the finisher? They're chasing him down. He's burning from the Ignite. Soaz will finish it off, but now they're not finished. We see that Jarvan flashing over to get the knock up onto Virtual. Soaz going to come in, and Virtual fighting a losing battle here. He's trying desperately to run away, but Soaz gets the kill.
Yeah, they do make the best of a bad situation, diving in there. Corralius' crescendo was literally perfect timing. He completely locked up Pekka the moment he was there, and the rest of Against All Authority just responded in an instant. The teleport from Slayer allowing them to get the early advantage, and they continued chasing. They had no idea that Soaz was there. It was so, quick to being in that position. And of course, because of that response time, it allowed Fnatic to pick 2 up. But a questionable decision. They went very deep on that, and they lost the initial trade. It was only because of the support of the rest of the team members that they got the kills back and managed to secure that dragon.
One thing that is good for them, though, is Soaz moving to 2-0. We see him come into that middle lane. Got those double buffs on here as well as Slayer. Just dodging that Q. He's got the full workings, pretty much, of
Sunfire Cape.
Of that Sunfire Cape, indeed. Also still got that red elixir as well, which didn't even need to use earlier on. I mean, in his lane, he certainly had no problems either.
I still think the health potion that he's got sitting there as well, is the same one that he had from the initial buy. I don't think he purchased any more health potions on his recall back, so doing really, really well. That CS advantage has dissipated. It's now a lot smaller because he spends so much time out of that lane. But Yellowstar was there covering it, picking up some of the CS while they picked up that Drake. So Always is going to go back, spend some of that cash and upgrade the items.
Against All Authority here, just trying to put down as much damage as they can onto this bottom tower. Pekka's Destiny will be up here in just a little while as well, so we can expect him to be getting more involved around that map. But as you said, Corralius, we kind of talked a lot about him in the game the other day, where we pinpointed, first of all, his crescendos that were just completely off target. I mean, he probably couldn't have placed them any worse than they were. They were directly between 2 players a couple of times. But the ones that he did hit were so crucial in that victory for them.
In this particular setup as well, it's a nice crescendo to land, but it's coming in. You have all the signs, Twisted Fate is going to land, where he's going to land, and it's just a matter of timing it. And it was very well done. Corralius is going to need to make sure he gets those 2, 3, 4-man crescendos once we get to these team fights, because the amount of disruption that Alistair, Jarvan, and Lee Sin are going to put in a team fight, Corralius is the one responsible for locking them down. And if you can combo that, on top of that Spirit Fire from Nasus, his E, it's going to be shredding their armor, it's going to be damage over time. Then you've got the splash damage from Slayer. There's so much great synergy if they can time it all and get it to land correctly.
Soaz now has spent a bit of time back in that lane, got himself back up to a 20 CS lead. Obviously, Freddy does have the chain vest in there as well. Actually picked up a door and shield earlier on. That was after he was being harassed so heavily in that lane by Soaz, who, as you can see, just zipping in and out, being the typical annoyance that Lee Sin is always hard to be tracking down.
And it does look like he's just going to keep jumping in there. With the fact that he's got the Sunfire Cape and such a big lead in that lane, he's not even afraid of taking those tower hits. He's got 4 points into his W, so the sustain is going to be up there, very, very quick. Just get his HP back topped up, and it's just a lost lane right now for Freddy, and he's going to be relying on his team and that unstoppable force to help keep his teamfight presence relevant.
And Rated and Yellowstar just moving into turret range there, getting a couple of auto attacks off from Yellowstar. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Nasus is actually coming around here, but can they lock Lee Sin down? He is Lee Sin at the end of the day, and he's already half a lane away. As Corralius here being engaged upon in that bottom lane. They couldn't quite finish off, but no, taking big chunks of damage here as well. I'm not sure that they should be staying at this tower right now. As we see them putting the damage onto the tower, and Rated also hitting it as well, so he's not going to go directly in and try and get another combo, which he does actually have off cooldown right now, so we are going to see the True Shot barrage come through, but that's not going to be enough. That tower just about goes down in the end.
First tower down at 14 minutes. It does go to Fnatic, and Yellowstar just really, just brute forcing the 2 Against Authority players out of that lane, continue landing auto attack after auto attack. Interestingly as well, he's actually maxing his impure shots, the W for Misfortune, which just is the on-hit damage, and of course it does scale a little bit more as you continually attack. And very, very important, which so many people forget about, is the healing reduction that it applies. And against a Sona, that sustained lane, if you can reduce the effectiveness for even half the time, it costs more mana to keep HP up. It just keeps things in your favor as far as the duels and the fights go, and you can hear Nasus throwing a little bit of taunting around.
Yeah, and the Wither comes down, and Soaz just doesn't care.
Not at all.
He just doesn't care whatsoever. I mean, look at this. How much turret damage is already done here. He lands a Q, gonna zip himself in, and gets withered underneath the turret once again. As I said, doesn't care.
No, it doesn't phase him at all. He's just going to be able to just jump to those minions and get to safety. Freddy has decided he wants to apply some pressure in the middle lane because it looks like Soaz should be able to take that tower down on the next wave. And it's just a slow-paced game, but it does look like Virtual's been caught out.
Yeah, and there is Cyanide coming in. There's a Cataclysm to lock Virtual in. He's got no flash, of course, and he will be finished off. Soaz goes 3-0.
Yeah, very, very good kill. They just comboed their abilities, lock them in place. Tower goes down. Fnatic have now got a 6,000 gold lead at 18 minutes. It's a very one-sided affair thus far in the matchup. The Lich Bane has been completed for Xpeki as well, so that additional movement speed and just the ability to run around and set up Destiny ganks is all the more powerful once you have that item. I'm quite interested to see Soaz picking up the Cutlass, the Bilgewater Cutlass, so that's possibly going to become a Blade of the Ruined King, and that is actually going to synergize so well with Lee Sin. The HP-based damage, the fact the lifesteal is there, you know, the on-hit burst spell effectively, you know, a couple hundred damage and the life back. I think it's an awesome pickup, and cooldown reduction is always going to work well with Lee Sin.
AD carries right now both have a Bloodthirster. Difference being at this stage, the Berserker Greaves that are on Misfortune. I'm saying yes, there's really even only a 5 difference at this point, as the Dragon is going to spawn against All Authority, already headed in position to take this one, but Fnatic are not far away either. All 5 men are in reach of this Dragon. Let's see what they can do from this one. Malphite back into it. There's the Unstoppable Force coming out. Enrated will ulti. In comes the Crescendo over the top. Cyanide went pretty low. Slayer actually uses the ultimate on himself there as he gets kicked back, but Soaz is going through. He's going to kick No through into the Dragon Pit again. Dragon, by the way, is still being taken down there by Cyanide in the back as Yellow Star gets focused. They've got the Dragon, and what a move coming out of Fnatic.
It was quite a sloppy fight from everybody there. They just split up all over the place. Against All Authority said go, 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 but they dove onto, you know, Alistair and Jarvan with the Unstoppable Force had knocked them up. It was followed up with the Crescendo, which was fairly good in that it slowed down the Fnatic members, but it didn't really allow them to completely stomp it out. Freddy has been caught by Soaz. It's just going to take some, you know, punches in the face before Soaz backs away. Sonic Wave goes out once again. just annoying, just being frustrating at the moment. Fnatic pick up the Dragon, and, you know, they did kill Nono, and that was a key point to winning that fight, because Yellow Star was way out of position. He was left completely by Fnatic, and he was forced to flash into the red pit just to get to safety.
In the end, turned out really nice for him as well. The fact that Cyanide had backed away, Dragon was still being hit, so it hadn't reset yet, and he's like, oh, well, everyone's moved off. I'll just finish off this Dragon then for us, and that leaves Fnatic now 28,000 to 21.7 thousand gold up. We've not even hit the 20-minute mark just yet, and they're already bringing this out. Yeah, let's have a look at that gold. 6,800 to 4,300, the difference between the top laners, to almost 1,000 gold between the AD carries as well.
It's such a huge difference. Jungler's about 1,000 difference, support's about 1,300 difference. So, you know, on a couple of characters, the gold difference is huge, and there's another fight in this middle lane.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. Freddy taking a lot of damage. There goes a Cataclysm. It's perfectly placed. Peke waiting to get that gold card out. Unstoppable Force will come in. There's the ultimate from Kayle, which will keep Freddy alive for now. They change their focus around as Peke trying to get the stun out onto Slayer. They disengage there from that one.
Slayer completely saving both of his teammates. The teleport in plus the intervention not only saved them, but allowed them to get back safely. Fnatic were low. They used a lot of their abilities to try set that up, but because of that, they may be able to get themselves a turret if Slayer doesn't interrupt them, which he does. Perfect fashion.
So right now, actually, Soaz is pushing this bottom lane. That No finally went there to actually do something. To be honest, he can probably just kill No there, even under the turret as well. In the end, decides probably not wise to go that deep at this point. You know, 4-0-0, let's not waste it. Let's not get over cocky.
Yeah, especially when you consider the very first gank that they did was them going very, very deep. The middle tower does get taken down, as against All Authority were just nowhere to be seen. Slayer went up to the top lane to farm it up, and that just says to Fnatic, well, thank you very much, he's not there, we can take that quickly. And, you know, because of that Twisted Fate almost failed gank, Fnatic will be a little bit more cautious in their decision-making, and I expect that with the Dragon fight being a little bit sloppy as well, that both teams will be saying, all right, well, this is what we did wrong in that fight. You know, let's only use the abilities if there's 3 or 4 groups together, and Fnatic will be saying, well, let's not ignore Yellow Star and leave him unprotected because, you know, he deals quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, certainly does. Got that pickaxe now added in. on top of his Bloodthirster from earlier on. The Blade of the Ruined King is finished for Soaz, and the Boots of Mobility as well, just to be even more annoying.
A 50 CS advantage and 4 kills. He's definitely the hard carry right now for Fnatic. And that Blade of the Ruined King, it's just such a powerful item. Plus 45 damage, 10% lifesteal. It's just really, really great with everything that Lee Sin can do. If anybody starts stacking HP, any of those Warmogs or, Giant's Belt items, which you can see in Malphite's back pocket, if he has full health, it's just going to be hitting even harder.
Yeah, and also, that's the thing about the Blade of the Ruined King right now, which it's starting to finally get more play. I think on live, it's been buffed a little bit.
Yes, there's an attack speed increase as well on live, and there's a lot of discussion about that. To be politically correct. But Fnatic at the moment, they're extending their goal to nearly 10,000. And, the Blade has been picked up a lot over in the States. We've been seeing so many different AD carries picking it up. And on anybody that continually needs to right-click for most of the damage and doesn't necessarily scale too heavily off attack damage, it works very well. A champion like Tristana in particular, who it's primarily attack speed and damage that works, but Fnatic, they're going to split push this bottom and top lane. You can see Soaz and Yellowstar's going to try to defend.
Oh wow, we see the unstoppable force coming around. Corralius picking up the kill there. Yellowstar destroyed. Twisted Fate though is still pushing here. And again, Soul Authority are finally going to take the outer turret. Are they going to keep going with this one? We've got Lee Sin pushing top, Twisted Fate pushing the bottom lane. Kayle has obviously gone back to try and deal with that one, and it looks like against Soul Authority will get the middle inner turret as well for the pleasure of that one. Let's have a quick look towards the top lane there, where we see Soaz actually pushing. He's going to get that kill as Twisted Fate going to pop his ultimate, just wants to see exactly where everyone is. And look at this, he's going up there to help Soaz. They may well have this inhibitor turret as well.
It is dropping so low. That's down to 50%. Schleier's doing the best he can to react, but by the time he gets here, the tower will be dropped to below 500 hit points. It is down. They trade 3 towers for 2. There is now an exposed inhibitor in the top lane, and Fnatic are starting to group up. Corralius is being so brave. He's about to walk into a job, and the spidey senses kick in and say, no, Corralius, do not go further. And luckily he backs away just in time.
Yeah, but that for Fnatic, I mean, inhibitor turret taken down in the top lane. Obviously, they took the inner turret in that bottom lane. They've lost their inner turret in the middle. I mean, that's surely worth it anyway.
Yeah, you've definitely got to think so, because of the fact that they still have both of their outer turrets in the top and bottom lane, and Freddy's about to walk into 2.
Here we go. They're going to get in there. The stun card drops. Jarvan gets the knockup. Kicked back as well by Lee Sin at the same time. I think the knockup actually missed because of that. But Fnatic, 3-on-1, shut down the Malphite.
And the fact that Malphite's not there, there's 4 members of Fnatic grouped up. They're just going to brute force their way into this inhibitor. Nono and Schleier are not available. The True Shot Barrage gets flung from halfway across the map. It's not going to do anything but tickle that Expeke, and they're going to take this inhibitor for free. Freddy going up just to try pick up some CS to try keep himself in this game, and they lose their inhibitor.
Yeah, nicely done there from Fnatic, making AAA think that they backed away completely. We saw Freddy just say, right, then I'm going to go get CS since they've gone. And they were all just waiting, as we are going to see Nono Yellowstar going 1 versus 1 here in that middle lane. Nono actually has the red buff from this as he flashes in behind. Intervention coming out there after it had all been finished. He's like, I got you, bro. I got you. You're safe. Don't worry.
But Cyanide just going to use that EQ to get to safety, and I think that intervention had been cast, and he simply didn't interrupt it. As in, let me just, press R, click my target, allow Kayle to do the work. Cooldown has been blown. It is not the longest of cooldowns. It is currently rank 2, so it's only a minute. But nonetheless, if the next 30 seconds of fight engages, he's definitely going to regret that choice.
But at least Nono survived.
At least no did manage to survive. 6-6 in kills, but it does not paint an equal story. 10,000 gold difference, 6 towers to 2. The inhibitor is down in the top lane. Once some more map control has been gained with those super minions pushing down the lane, you can expect Fnatic to start applying pressure on Baron, and you can tell that by the wards. They started to ward up the blue buff, and you can see so many defensive wards coming out from AAA. The gold numbers on your screen, 6,000 to, let's just call it 10,000. A 4K difference in the top lane alone. So of the 9,000 lead that Fnatic has, Soaz personally has about 50% of that.
And that obviously puts him so far ahead here. I mean, Soaz has had a beast of a game as well. He's showing us that he can play. He's so versatile in terms of his picks in that top lane. And bringing Elise in out here, we've seen so much from him. Obviously, Blitzcrank is one that is played in that top lane, as well as Fnatic going to add to that gold lead by taking down the Dragon. That puts them exactly 10,000 gold up in this game.
Yeah, and it's now their game to lose. It's something that we keep saying time and time again. Once you've gotten this far ahead and you're in a position where you have the item advantage, you have the map advantage, you have the vision advantage, it's just how do you decide to close this game out? And Fnatic are generally fairly methodical in this regard. They do tend to take a Baron, then take towers. Once they've got 2 inhibitors or 3 inhibitors down, then they'll go for that final Nexus kill. It does look like going to steal away this blue buff. There's a lot of vision on this side of the map for AAA, so they know what's happening, and they're thinking about picking an engagement, and AAA are very split up if this is going to work.
Yeah, there we see Twisted Fate ultimate is going to come down. Is he going to be making a move around? Actually, he is. He's going to the middle lane as Freddy and Virtual going in on Cyanide and Yellowstar, and Rated is there for the crowd control. Bullet Time comes across them, not doing too much damage as they're chasing Yellowstar down. They're going to die here, or he's going to die, at least one of them. Cyanide now being focused in the whole time. Twisted Fate and Lee Sin were doing damage onto the turret. It's a double kill comes down for Kayle. Fnatic now getting involved, and Fnatic will see Soaz go very, very low. The Wither slowing him right down, but he backs away, and against Full Authority there, picking up 2 kills, almost having Soaz and Cyanide away
There's
in the
super
process.
minions on the Nexus turrets, though. They're bashing it away. The first turret will potentially go down. This is what Soaz and Cyanide are buying time for. They are just trying to interrupt against Full Authority to allow the minions to do the work for them. I think Cyanide pulled aggro of Baron just so Baron could shoot Slayer once and annoy him, delay that recall again. Nono and Virtual are trying to look for blood. You are losing Nexus turrets. Corellius has respawned and is busy defending that, but Fnatic, that was a fairly messy engagement again. They caught a number of members of Against All Authority out. Peke decided to teleport middle to Soaz to try and pick up a tower. They did get the kill, but it meant that the 4 members of AAA could just surround the 3 members of Fnatic near that Baron, and they technically lost the fight. You know, in terms of champions versus champions, they lost that engagement, but because they did get a Nexus turret thanks to those super minions, I think you'll be happy with that at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing from Fnatic's side. As you said, it was, if you analyze the fight just as a fight there, it was horrible for them. But what they achieved with that is, again, all right, we're going to lose kills here, but it's all about those global objectives, and they've managed to get that Nexus turret down, like you said. Now they're doing Baron here against Authority, trying to come across. Baron down to only 700 HP. It's going to be picked up there by Soaz. Peke will get blown up by the Unstoppable Force. There's a knock-up coming in as well from Alistair. Soaz going very low as he tries to weave his way out. Gets shut down in the end by Corellius, who secures the kill for Against All Authority.
And this is exactly what AAA need to do if they want to try pull themselves back in there. A perfect use of that teleport, joining the party, managing to pick up some kills after the Fnatic had secured the Baron. The pressure is now on them though, because they want to try take this middle inhibitor down. They're missing Malphite, he's in the bottom lane. The rest of Fnatic are going to slowly respawn in the next 10 or 15 seconds. Turret should go down easily. I wonder if Fnatic can interrupt this inhibitor.
We'll have to see about that on Cyanide and Alistair both there. So they've got that crowd control to come out from both of them, but the inhibitor is going to be taken away. And now you start to wonder, is it worth it? Was that whole thing worth it in the end?
It's a bit of sloppy play. Fnatic are now trying to set up a fight here, and they keep getting caught out. They keep losing the battles because the circumstances are a little strange. They went onto that Baron. I think there was only 4 of them on the Baron. Peke went so low. When members of AAA came in, he stayed there. He popped the Shurelias to try and survive, and as soon as the Shurelias wore off, Unstoppable Force just said, thank you very much, I'll easily pick up that kill. Now Fnatic, they do have the pressure of the bottom lane creeps. They still have a decent wave up in that top lane, and they're just going to try and force the way through the middle. But it's the last 2 super minions in the top lane for Fnatic because that inhibitor has respawned. So once they go down, it's just going to be normal creeps for them.
Now they're trying to siege up here in that middle lane. And again, just one fight here could probably win or lose in the game on the other side as well. They're certainly piling on the pressure against All Authority. Corellius does have that crescendo, which is going to be a massive thing for them if they're to hold on here as that inner turret goes down.
Especially with the gold difference between these teams, 10,000 gold, and the fact that it actually equates to 10,000 gold worth of items. Nobody is sitting on a lot of money, so the strength, the statistics is all there in favor of Fnatic. You can see they're just putting some wards down for some vision, and Corellius, He needs to get a good crescendo. There's the flash crescendo.
They come in, and Raider going to pop his ultimate instantly. Where's that Cataclysm? There it is. It's going to lock Virtual up as they focus in towards Corralius, but they realize they need to peel off there. Help Yellow Star stay on top of this one. Freddy taking a lot of damage, will Unstoppable force his way out of the fight, but Virtual will die. That's what they were looking for as Jarvan comes in. Corralius goes down. Double kill. Here comes Peke. He's going to get No just about. Actually, it was the red card that was pulled, and now they turn around, do a lot of damage onto him, but the rest of Fnatic in the meantime have taken down that inhibitor.
Yeah, Inhibitor is down. Fnatic are now just going to decide to back away, try to counter push the rest of the lanes. The middle lane is now pushing, against their favor, which isn't good, but Slayer is hitting so hard. They do get a little bit of wild cards on, and they got to be careful because the damage that went into Peke as soon as that home guard, Slayer came running in was really, really high. Peke does have his hourglass though, so they'll buy him a couple seconds of extra life if he does get collapsed upon. But the Cataclysm, it was good in that fight. It completely split up members of AAA. Oh, No might be in trouble though.
Yep, so I was actually going to come in and he slightly mistimed it then.
I think he just missed the Q. It hit No instead of the minion, the red buff's lizard, so he wasn't able to steal that one away. And I think wise of him not to pick that fight. Bloodthirster Blade, I think it would have hit very hard, but against the Warmog Sunfire, Soaz probably could have won the fight. Instead, though, they're going to just decide to back away and take yet another dragon.
And you see the timing there from Fnatic. In the mix of all this chaos, they still had that dragon timer down, which just gives them that edge again. It's now 11,000. Let's call it 12,000 because it's about to tick over here to 53,000 gold to 41.4. Overall, 12.5k gold on Soaz right now. Compare that to the 8,000 that Malphite's sitting on. That is a huge difference. Middle lane, 2,000 gold difference. Between the 280 carries, 11,100 to 9,500 on Edgewell. So overall, Fnatic, as you said earlier on, this is really their game to lose, but against All Authority have shown some promising signs and are certainly not giving up without a fight.
Yeah, they're definitely holding themselves in this. Every time, these fights kick off and it's a versus 3 or it's versus 4, against All Authority are doing it well. They're picking the right targets, they're using the intervention for the most part fairly well in the fights, and I think the teleport from Slayer has been very, very instrumental in a couple of those engagements, that he's joined the party, teleporting onto a ward and helped his team, pick up the victory. So they're going to need to keep doing that if they want to hold themselves in this, but they've just got no map presence right now. You can see the vision. They've got a couple of wards on their side of the map, but they know nothing of what's going on past the river. And until that inhibitor respawns, they're not safe enough to push out the hourglass. Wow.
That micro there from Peke, the timing perfectly. Are they going to go for the fight? Peke taking a lot of damage. There goes Enrated sliding in. Cyanide will go in there as well. What are they going to go for with this one? Bullet time comes out of the brush from Yellow Star. Slayer had the ultimate on himself, but he's been chipped away. Finally finished off as Twisted Fate ulti comes in. What a move from Enrated. 3 men caught in the pulverize. Corralius is very low. Freddy is super low in there as well. This is just a matter of finishing them off. Corralius does go down. Freddy is trying his best to get away. The Q from Soaz actually was walked into in the end there, as No is now in trouble as well. And rated super low. Finished off, but you're not going to escape this Jarvan surely. But look at the lifesteal actually coming out there. Xpeke comes in for the side, gets the kill. Virtual still being chased down. Ace for Fnatic.
That fight went so well in the beginning for Fnatic, but No stayed alive forever. He out-dueled Yellow Star, defeated him 1v1, then got into an engagement there against Soaz and Cyanide's Jarvan. Actually managed to deal enough damage to... No, so it was Enrated. Managed to deal enough damage to Alistair to actually secure the kill and survive for ages. But Fnatic take yet another tower. They get a next inhibitor, and with enough super minions here, they may decide to go for it. Corralius and Slayer... No, Slayer just respawned, so... Going to play this safely, going to defend and walk away. Super minions in the bottom lane. We're going to see Baron up in 44 seconds, and I think that's going to be the next objective for Fnatic.
Yeah, and they're now pressuring this middle lane. Inhibitor turret, of course, the last one standing here for against All Authority, down to very little. Soaz was really looking for that one, but didn't quite have the balls, let's say, to stay there and go for that one to finish it off, which I think, again, is a wise move. Fnatic really doing this one by the book.
And he's so tanky right now. Warmog's armor completed, Sunfire Cape, a Chain Vest, and a Negatron Cloak. So that's a Lee Sin with 3,800 hit points, 194 armor, and 135 magic resist. I see he's just completed that Chain Vest into a Guardian Angel. There is nothing you can do against the Blind Monk right now. He is super, super strong.
There's Freddy. And his shield popped by the wild cards coming out of Twisted Fate. He's got that haunting guys in there, Glacial Shroud, some Fire Cape, so makes it tanky and also having that damage output as well. As we see, Soaz is just tankier and he's got more damage and just overall better than him, that's for sure. But let's see what Fnatic do about this one. Baron is now up and available for the taking. Twisted Fate over that side as Soaz again just taking a couple of hits from Fred that you don't really notice touching his health bar whatsoever. There's the Destiny pop just to give vision of everyone, and Xpeke is actually coming down here. He's going in for it against Authority, trying to have the fight as the crescendo comes across. Bullet time as the knockups come out from Enrated as well. But Xpeke is still in the base here. Soaz could go and join him as we are going to see him take down the inhibitor. He's actually on the Nexus turrets right now. Let's have a look down towards that base. How far gone is that inhibitor? In fact, he's onto the Nexus here already against Authority, picking up the kills, but Peke with that backdoor action wins the game for Fnatic.
Who would have guessed that Xpeke was going to do it again? I think that's the third or fourth time this weekend that play has been pulled, and it worked. Against All Authority simply continued the fight, carried on picking the battle, and they won the fights. You know, 10k gold down, they were winning the fights. But Fnatic, they got the Nexus, and that's what counts.
Yeah, and you saw this sort of no real celebrations from that one. I mean, it's, as we said, doing it by the book. The win here was important for them to bounce back after those losses yesterday. But against Authority, going to be disappointed nonetheless. Either way, that's it for us here at the caster desk. We're going to go over to Demon, Jason, and Aranea to break down that first match.